He held it down. He kept reminding me to breathe. He kept reminding me of hypnobirthing class. And, you know, Master type, you don't know if he's paying attention or not when you're doing things. But, like, you really showed, babe, that you were holding it down and, you know, you took everything to heart, what we were learning, so you could make sure that you were helping. Yeah. Like, you know, the man is not really talked about during that process, but you made yourself a part of the process. Yeah. And I really appreciate it because I could not have done it without you. I would have been screaming my head off.
Like the grace of God is flowing through just our universe, you know. Like the meditations, recorded the meditations for you, and the aspirations. Affirmations, you know, one of them. I know it started with an A and it ended with a shin. You know what I mean?
And
affirmation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We a perfect match, ain't no way to love another. Put it on God, I could trust you like my brother. Never get any.
Peace, assalamu alaikum. What's up, everyone? It's your girl Tia of Tea Time Podcast. You know what it is, you know what it does. And I'm here with my baby, my hubby, my baby daddy, my dude. Well, who are you, babe?
Oh, it's Webb. You know what I'm saying? Full name, Matt Webb.
We've been trying to do this for a while now, but we are finally going to do our vlog about, you know, the birth.
You want to just start with, I guess, the beginning? Like, really just your mindset on making it a home birth. Because doing the home birth was, like, a big thing. You know, everybody that I talked to from the jump was like, a home birth? Like, she gonna be okay with nothing? With like that, you know, and it freaked me out in the beginning. I'm like, look, like, you're a strong person. Very confident, you have your mental strength is amazing to me. And I feel like that is what really held you down, I'll say, for being able to have that mindset, like, I can do this at home and be comfortable and be in my own setting, my own environment. You know, that's amazing. You know, so I want you to share how amazing you are.
Well, my mindset wise, it really came from my mom, who's also amazing. She's
shout out to Mama Mo.
Shout out to Mama Mo.
She is amazing. That's a superwoman.
Me and my two sisters, we were all home births. So for me, in my mindset, when I had a child and was ready, it wasn't a question of whether or not I was going to have the child at home. And honestly, especially right now during COVID, like my niece was born during COVID, right at the wake of it. I was not going to no hospital and dealing with that.
Crazy.
Yeah, you can't have.
Crazy.
There are restrictions on the people who can come with you. Restrictions on what you can do while you're in there. Restrictions on all of that. All of that came from just my mom's influence. So
it's funny because I remember the conversation we had once we found out that we were having Journey. Like, what's the next step? The next step is the delivery place. Like, we spoke on it before, even before Journey. Like, we talked about that, and you gave me the confidence to believe that it's possible to do, just from my past experience with my past, you know, deceased daughter. Shout outs to Hope Kylie Webb. So, you know, just from my past experience dealing with that situation when she had the pulmonary heart disease, you know, that really turned me in a different way because that was all in the hospital and she had a C-section. So that was just something, like, where I came from, that was like it's a totally different quest on, you know, giving birth to a child. And you really, you know, you showed me a different mindset and that it's possible and how natural it comes for a woman to be able to give birth in that way. So shout out to you, baby. I appreciate you for that.
Shout out to you for holding it down with me. Like, you could have protested. That wasn't something that you knew.
I feel like us knowing each other too, you know, just understanding one another's mind and our chemistry and just the faith and the communication and the trust that we built. It's like, you know, if you say you able to do this, like, I'm gonna support you 100%. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa, same thing. So
Facts.
I think our teamwork on this was, you know, we was solid. We was solid on that.
Real
There's so
quick,
many
yeah.
demons in your path, I swear. Like, they try to come at you. You know, I, for one, by myself as an individual, dealt with so many demons that try to block off your path in your journey.
We went into the OB for just the 20-week ultrasound, so that we could figure out if Journey was a girl, if Journey was a boy. She's a girl. Surprise. We had everything. The sonologist said, okay, you're all set. But the doctor, who was on the phone, mind you, the doctor was not in the office. The doctor was on the phone because of some COVID thing. The doctors weren't coming in to the office. Called on the phone. He wanted to speak to us before we left. And he gets us into an office and basically says, yeah, your baby girl is healthy, but at 20 weeks, right, she has choroid plexus cyst.
There you
That's
go.
what it's called. Brain develops. Sometimes there's a sac of water that gets trapped within the brain while it's developing. And he connected this to leading to this
abnormalities or something.
Abnormality, trisomy 18. He brought it to. He said basically a lot of babies who have trisomy 18, which means they'll probably die in the first 3 months of their life, and they have a whole bunch of abnormalities while in the womb that we would have seen at the moment. He said basically that a lot of babies with trisomy 18, which is a disorder, have that in the womb. So he said that we should take a blood test right now just to see if she could possibly have it, just to see if we want to...
Preparations.
Prepare.
For precautions.
Just in case we want to terminate the pregnancy or not
at
24 weeks. Like...
How he made that an option. Like, we weren't even thinking like that.
At all.
That's the thing. And then he just kept going on about what the effects are, that it could, what the causes are out of all of this. And then he's like, now the other option, if you decide that you want to terminate the baby, you know, you have this choice. You have the choice whether or not...
You have 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like, we weren't even thinking like that.
At all.
What made you... What gave you the idea that we were thinking about, you know what, maybe we want to get rid of this thing before we go even further? You know, it's crazy.
He told us. Everyone told us the baby is healthy.
Everything's good. He kept saying that. Everything's fine right now. And everything looks great. Looks perfect.
He kept connecting dots. But you can have choroid plexus cyst and be fine if everything is fine, which everything was fine. Right. So we tried to throw us off our game.
So you're saying
April 5th, right? So the day before Journey was born is really when I started feeling things. And I'm, you know, feeling contractions throughout the day. And these are contractions that are a little stronger. They feel like really strong period cramps. That's when we went to the park. We got out because I was just feeling like I wanted to move around. I wanted to, you know, get some exercise in so that I can also help labor come along, because I was also tired of being pregnant. And I felt like the baby was coming very soon.
Remember? Because you thought the water broke.
Oh, facts.
A couple days before. So you only got 48 hours.
Facts.
And that was Sunday.
Yeah. So all of these
there was a lot of
laws
thoughts
for having a home birth.
Yeah.
So basically, after your water breaks, you have 48 hours. So you have a certain amount of time that you have to give birth at home if you want to do a home birth.
Right.
If you don't have the baby within that time, you can't legally have a home birth with your midwife. Right. Like, the midwife wouldn't be able to. We were pressed on time because my water broke. We knew that at 3:30 a.m. a couple days before. And so, yeah, I was stressing out. Right. I was stressing out because I'm like, we're trying to have a home birth.
We're thinking about it. We was trying not to, but it was definitely a part of, you know, it was a little stressful. Just the thought of that in the back of the head, because we don't want to leave our whole plan. You know, we're plan making people. So, you know, when the plan kind of gets interrupted, it kind of, you know, messes up the flow of things, I'll say. So then it's when you had the shake. So yeah, I went to Walmart. I went all over the place. I went to Walmart while I was out, Rite Aid, CVS. trying to find casserole. All the other ingredients I was able to get, but the casserole situation, of course, when you're trying to find something, it just ain't gonna pop up for you at that time. So, like, that was just a hassle. But of course, like, we just made the decision, if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be for that night. But at least, like, the midwife was able to come by, and she was able to come with the casserole. Through
around 11 a.m. the next day on April 6th, Matt made the shake for me. It was pretty darn good. Like, that ingredients, the recipe that she gave us was really good.
Yeah, with that chocolate ice cream, peanut butter, and almond milk on top of the casserole. And I blended that nice and well and shaked it up for you good.
Shook it. Like a Polaroid picture. While I was drinking that, I was also on the breast pump. So using the breast pump is also a natural induction. So yeah, right after I did that, I started feeling stronger contractions, and it started actually progressing a little more. So midwife leaves because I still I wasn't in active labor yet. At this point, you know, I was in communication with my family. My mom and my sister were coming to the birth, and they wanted to know, like, you know, what's going on. My mom was busy all day, but I was telling her, like, I feel like, you know, Journey's gonna come today. And she needs to as well for time crunch.
Right, just because of where we were standing with the water break and the due date.
My mom decided, she was busy all day, but she decided to come to our house and do her work here because it's all online. Shout out to COVID. Yeah, so she came over, her and my sister came, and they were chilling as I was progressing in my labor.
Right.
So the labor, I was feeling stronger, like it was like period cramps to, oh, that was a contraction. And it started getting stronger and stronger. So around like what, 2:30 p.m.
3 o'clock. Like,
3 o'clock.
Like 3, yeah.
I was in the bathtub. This at like 3 p.m. was after the bath. I had gotten in the bath. Yeah, and I laid down in the bed. And when I was laying down in the bed is when it got like stronger.
Right.
Like I started getting back labor. But true to our hypnobirthing class, I was just focusing on breathing.
Right.
So
shout out to the hypnobirthing class.
Shout out. Angela Coronel.
Angela, shout out to Angela.
Yep.
For that education on that. Also for me, just being that man there and the father, it's just like the hypnobirthing class definitely gave more knowledge and more confidence in what we were trying to achieve in that, you know. Just because of course you're gonna have things in your ear of people saying like, oh, that's, you know, that's different, like that's a lot. But it wasn't as, you know, it was very it was an eye-opener, I'll say, for being that supporter and that companion by your side and knowing just how to do it and just have that belief. You know, it's amazing. So shout out to Angela for that education and that extra confidence boost.
We had the mindset to do a natural birth and at home hypnobirthing, and Angela gave us like the actual mechanisms to make it happen in the best way possible, and without us being focused in on, oh, it's gonna hurt, oh, what could go wrong.
Like when you were in the bed and just like you were breathing so well, like the techniques we really followed through, and I think that's what made the process so happen within 3.5 hours. You know, like we really abided by the breathing. Well, you abided by the breathing techniques that we learned together. And where were you, like, when you were in that amnesic state? You know what I'm saying? Like,
shoot, I went inward. Like, I was there. Like, when I laid down on the bed, that's when I started going inward into myself, because I felt the waves of pain. Like, it is painful. It's what, like, waves of pain that kept coming, the contractions. And it was like I would feel something, like super tight contraction, wave of pain, and I would breathe with it like we were taught, and it would get better. Like that, I would get used to that wave, and as soon as I got used to it, another stronger wave would come and knock me down. And then I had to breathe through that and kind of get with it. It was like being on the beach, and if you ever got stuck in waves, which you have.
I can't swim, So a wave knocked me out. I wasn't coming back from that wave.
Okay.
Dad had to pop out and
save your life.
Yeah, pull a hand in. Shout outs to the father.
I'm breathing, doing my calm breathing, and I think this is when I switched from calm breathing, which is like a slow 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to a birth breathing, which is like so I kept doing that as my contractions kept getting stronger, and as I entered active labor, I was completely focused on myself. Like, I went from hearing and being with everyone in the room to just being within myself and basically meditating. Like, I was meditating while in labor. That's what it went into. Like, I had Matt there. He was massaging me. My mom massaging me, playing gongs. Something that kept me focused on myself was my birth playlist. Like, my birth playlist was popping. So yeah, whether or not you're having a baby in a hospital or at home, a birth playlist is key. Like, that's super key. And yeah, if you want mine, I can sell it to you. If I know you, I can give it to you. But yeah, the birth playlist was popping. Like, I had Janae, Kaylani, Sade, who the man I had on there? D'Angelo, Maxwell, like, it popping.
But that had some of your meditations on it as well.
Going into active labor, I had back labor, laying on the bed. Our doula, shout out to her. She, got us up.
Yes. Shout out to Talea.
Yep. Facts. She told us, it's time to stand up, time to go on the yoga ball, just to keep me open. Yeah.
She was definitely another great asset, another great teammate to that process.
Facts.
She definitely held it down, helped me out, because I was all over the place. I didn't even eat. I was all over the place. I do that. Side just.
So yeah, she got us up, got me out into the living room to come onto the yoga ball, so I could just do rotations on the yoga ball. That helped to open me up, open up my hips, so I can further bring it along. This point, labor is active. Contractions are getting faster every minute. We're tracking it on our contractions app, which was dope. That was a dope app to find. Going with the music, I stand up after a bit, and I'm leaning fully on Matt at this point, and we're just dancing with the rhythm of the music as I'm intense right now. Like,
and the midwife wasn't, Christina wasn't even there yet when, like, it was maybe 10 minutes before Journey popped out that she came in, because I was thinking, we were talking about it, about just having her come around 10.
Yeah.
It was like maybe 9:15ish, and we were just like, we felt like, it was still time. But that's when we got you up and we started walking. And I think your mom or Deal was like, nah, she need to come now. She need to come now. So it was like, all right. So we hit her up. She came like right there. She like right on time. Because that's when we checked you right down the hallway to see where Journey was, see where she was in your stomach. And then maybe 10 minutes after that, we're in the bathroom. And that's where the showdown was happening. So it was like she came, everything just followed suit, like in such a, it was just by the grace of God. Like, everything just followed like in such a great flow, and it was just perfectly blending together.
So mind you, while I got up to go into the living room on the yoga ball, they're talking about getting the bath ready, because I was going to give birth in the bath.
Right.
So they're talking, trying to get the pump for the bath, and the pump for the bath doesn't work. So I'm in active labor, baby's about to come, pump for the bath doesn't work. So they're in between, should somebody go out and buy a new pump?
Yeah.
Where's the midwife? Like, where's Christina? Everything's just happening super fast, because I was progressing slow, and all of a sudden it was just like, pew! Oh shoot, Tia stood up. Ooh, she about to have a baby. So we said scrap the bath. All of this is happening, and I'm hearing it, and I'm aware of it, but I'm not focused on it. Like, I'm completely focused inward. Those of you who meditate,
wanted to keep you in that state.
Yeah.
Also, we were trying to get you back to the bed, but you wanted to go. We had you go back into the bathroom, and because you were comfortable on the toilet.
So yeah, so at the moment that I asked to go in the toilet, I felt like a huge, you can feel yourself while you're giving birth. Naturally, you can feel yourself opening up. So I felt my hips opening up. I felt like the hip part opening, and then I felt like my actual pelvis, like the vagina opening at different points. And so I'm in the hallway and I'm feeling my hips opening, and I'm like, oh, she about to come. Like, it felt like a huge bowel movement. And I shout out to Mickey. I remember my mom's best friend telling me, like, when her baby came, her daughter came, she felt a huge bowel movement. And that was the baby about to crown. So, right? And I felt that. So I was like, let me go to the toilet. Shout out to Nasia. But she had a dope story online. Her story online, her birth story, I'll link it in here. She talked about how standing over the toilet, it was a good optimal position to help the baby to come out. It helps you open up. So I was like, cool, I feel the bowel movement. I'm going to go to the toilet. Let's go on the toilet. And I'll just, I was doing this during my contractions. I'll kind of rotate around the toilet. It feels good, etc. So at that point, everybody's thinking, we still got a long time until the baby's about to come, because we checked Journey's position and she was still kind of high. Right. But I felt that she was coming, and she was, and she started crowning right on top of the toilet. Yeah. Dira caught it on video. She was the person who saw her.
Oh, she's coming.
I was like, oh, she's
coming.
Here. She's
here. She's coming.
Dira saw her crowning, caught it on camera, and yeah,
it was crazy.
I got on we were over the toilet. Yeah. Got down on my hands and knees to help spread even more. Yeah.
And she shot right out. Like, she shot right out, like, smooth, just like some of the birthing videos that we watched. Yeah. Like, she came out, you saw her head, and then after that she just said, started spazzing. So yeah, it's just a beautiful experience, man. Like, and it's natural. Like, there was nothing, ain't take nothing. Like, you a soldier, and like you were on rhythm the whole time, like the whole way. Just that we really abided by the meditation and everything that we learned through that process, through that 9 months. So
yeah, it was a beautiful birthing experience. It brought us closer.
Yes.
Just still brings us closer looking at the video. And
yeah, I'm glad we got that to hold on to.
What would be your advice to the fathers out there?
For that process, like dealing with a home birth, at first, it all depends on your mindset. That's the main thing, and how well you know yourself, and how well you know your companion, and how well y'all bond is, I guess, and just communicating exactly where you stand with it. For dealing with a home birth, it's really entrusting in your woman. Yeah, is there any more advice you would give to somebody that's looking to do a home birth from a woman's perspective?
My advice is just know your body, know yourself. Like, know your goals for birthing, research about birthing. Don't just kind of go with the flow with what your OB or somebody tells you. If you are healthy, then you have autonomy over what you can do. Definitely check your health during birth. Don't push your body to do anything that it can't do, but what's best for you. Like, even during the birth here, this is my first time giving birth, my first time being pregnant. And I just took the stories that I heard from everybody in hypnobirthing, the stories I heard from my mom's friends, my mom, etc. And I knew when Journey was coming. Like, I was only in labor for 3.5 hours, and she was still in the same position that she had been in for weeks. And I knew she was coming within 30 minutes, and she did. But, the midwife, the doula, my mom, everybody around who has experienced birth before was saying, she's not ready to come. Hopefully she will come before, that 3:30 a.m. cutoff that we had. I knew that she was coming, and I just trusted myself. I trusted my body, but I also trusted, what I learned. And you trust God. Like, it's not in your hands as a mother. As a mother, that's when you completely are giving everything up to God. Like, whatever you may call him, the universe, Allah, whatever you may call him, it's not in your hands. We have no control except for what we put into our bodies over the life that we're bringing to this world as a mother. And you really kind of get into that mindset and that role when you're pregnant. And it begins there. So that's my advice, is just trust yourself, trust your instinct, go to God. And, if you're healthy, you can do it your way.
Yes, man. Yeah, salute to you, because that was definitely, just being a companion there, that was an experience I'll never forget. Shout outs to every woman out there that's able to commit to doing a home birth, and shout out to the fathers out there. Yeah. We did our thing too, We did that, we I
did it.